everyone, it's ASKA here. In today's video, I'll show you a clever trick to solve a very common problem when applying gel nails. That frustrating moment when the gel starts running and ends up on your skin. Maybe you've experienced this before. You thought you applied the gel perfectly, but by the time you moved on to the next nail, it had already leaked. Or you wiped it off and redid it, only for it to leak again. And if the gel gets on your skin, it could even lead to allergies. So of course you want to avoid that. This video introduces a surprisingly simple solution that will keep the gel exactly where it's supposed to be. It might surprise you how easy it is, so make sure to watch till the end. Okay, let's get started. You've probably experienced this at least once. You carefully apply the gel without touching the skin, then start on the next finger. But when it's time to cure, you suddenly realize the gel has run onto the skin. You clean it up and try again. And yet, it leaks again. But there's actually a clear reason for this. The number one reason gel leaks is applying too much at once. Extra gel naturally overflows, especially if you're not familiar with the right amount. And since nail size differs from person to person, there's no single correct quantity. Also, once gel touches the skin, it creates a kind of path for the gel to leak again. Once it gets like this, no matter how carefully you apply it, it will keep leaking out again. While cleaning up helps a little, once it's touched the skin, it's hard to remove completely. Plus, leftover gel on the skin can increase the risk of gel allergies. That's why the key is to apply it without touching the skin in the first place. So how can we apply gel beautifully, right up to the edge, without it dripping? Let me walk you through the trick. For this demo, I'll be using a brightly colored gel to make things easier to see. Let's start with what you need to prepare. First, we will be using this. A thin liner brush. It has a long, fine tip and is usually used for nail art. You will also need a nail palette. If you do not have one, you can use a plastic sheet from nail stickers or even aluminum foil as a substitute. First, take a small amount of gel and place it on your palette. Then, work the gel into your liner brush so it's fully coated. Now for the trick! Use the liner brush to draw a thin outline around the edge of the nail. This will become a boundary to prevent gel from flowing past it. Here is the key. Keep the lines as thin as possible and use only a small amount of gel. If you pick up too much gel, the edges will become thick and raised, which can look unnatural. So try to take just a tiny bit of gel, not even enough to form a droplet on the brush, and draw the lines as thin as you can. Start at the base of the nail, drawing a U shape across the cuticle area. Then draw straight lines along both side walls of the nail, moving toward the tip. Repeat for the other side. Once you've drawn the outline, check carefully for any gel that might have leaked onto the skin. If you see any, clean it up right away with a wood stick. Because you're using such a small amount of gel, it's easy to clean up before curing. Once the outline looks clean and sharp, go ahead and cure it under your nail lamp. So what does this extra step do? It creates a gel wall around the edge of the nail. It prevents the gel from overflowing beyond the line when you apply more. In other words, it helps prevent the gel from leaking, running, or flooding the edges. Once the outline is cured, simply apply the gel as usual within the gel wall. Be careful not to cross the line. And continue using only a small amount of gel. Once the full nail is covered, cure it again. And when you move on to the second coat, the first layer is already cured at this point, so the risk of the gel flowing out is much lower. You can apply it as normal, or, if you're still concerned, you can repeat the outline method again. What did you think of this no-drip gel application method? Yes, it takes a little extra effort, but this small trick can dramatically reduce accidents like gel touching the skin, and the finish is much more beautiful and professional. If you've been struggling with gel running or overflow, I hope this helps you out. Thank you for watching. If this video was helpful to you, please hit the like button. And if you'd like to see more video like this, please subscribe to my channel. See you soon. Bye.